us live. I haven't gotten shorter, it's just Grisha has grown this old and tall. Hi everyone, hello, hello. So it looks like 10 people are live. You wanna say hi?
Hi.
Yeah, the first question you might ask me, like, what's wrong with your son's hair? But the thing is, Grisha has a challenge. Last August, while we were still in Israel, he actually accepted the challenge of not really going to a hairdresser for 2 years. So he's approaching his 1 year without a hairdresser. And what you see is my attempts to kind of really save his eyesight. But you see, the fringe is still too crazy. I think it's just the sun. Look, I have the same, Chris. Look, my hair is also different shade. It's because of the sun. Yeah, and like, yeah, he's recently lost one of his teeth. Set number 1. So he's getting older, much older. Please let me know in the chat if you can see us, if you can hear us, if all is good. I'm not using the headset because Grisha might want to say something and I want you to hear him. Well, just let me know. Hi Sharon, Shabbat Shalom. Hi, Shabbat Shalom, Grisha.
Shabbat Shalom.
Please let me know if you can hear us. All okay, that's great. That's fantastic. So the Grisha is joining me today, not because he missed virtual tours, however, he never really minded. Hi Satyam, good to see you. But the thing is that Grisha is off school. Technically the school year is over, but Grisha's school is has a kind of a summer camp, day camp. It's the same thing, but there's 1 week of break, like completely, which means that, well, Grisha has to be either with me or Misha. Misha is busy today. He's going to a concert. So, and yeah, we're gonna be working. We're gonna be guiding you in the Chughureti neighborhood. Well, actually, technically, this is a bit of a different area, but in the same neighborhood. Well, I mean, I've been really Sandy. I've been trying to make him, yeah. Потому что тебе не понравилось. He's asking me why he's not going with his daddy to the concert. He's not. I mean, you wouldn't have liked it much anyway. So what we're going to do now, we're going to switch the camera and cross the, well, actually no, we're gonna start from here. You may remember, oh sorry, I'm using the old gimbal today and it looks like it's too old. Should probably retire at some point. But before we take you to the new neighborhood, let me just quickly fill you in about where we are now. You may recognize this neighborhood. This is the Agmashenebeli Avenue. And over there, just to kind of really remind you who Agmashenebeli was. Yes. Конечно, салалаки, не помнишь? Yeah, so you may remember this building. By the way, we will be talking about this building more for sure, because it belonged to a German family. And you may remember from the previous 4 or 5 tours that this neighborhood was all developed by Germans and by the descendants of Germans that moved here in the middle of the, well, in 1830s, so almost mid 19th century. And this building, it was built a bit later, but it belonged to one of the German families, the Mader family. We will mention them later on. But so to remind you who David Agmashenebeli was, he was a Tsar or a king. Yeah, better say king. Over there you see a mosaic panel. So this is a modern mosaic, a portrait of that Tsar, king. Agmashenebeli means the builder or like the founder, because David Agmashenebeli managed to unite many small kingdoms, many small towns, independent towns, into a bigger independent state, and thus stronger one. and he is one of the very important figures for Georgians, and hence whenever you see a street or well an avenue named after him, you know that this is an important area. And this is an important area. This is a lovely avenue, very regular in its layout, which is very different from the old city. Grish, let's go. Grisha, let's go. And this is one of the central avenues of the city. And we already talked about, I would say, the diversity of this neighborhood, that this avenue is all full of theaters, shops, fancy restaurants, and very expensive tenant houses. Well, but that's not all, actually. David Agmashenebeli is a very long avenue, and we've seen only a bit over half of it. And you know, who would have thought? But actually, it continues over there. You see the sycamore trees. They're actually growing really thick, really nicely over there. And once you cross the street, it will look that you are not actually on the avenue, like you are in a quiet neighborhood. But this is not so, because actually it will be the continuation of the Agmashenebeli Avenue. And apart from just a theater avenue and fancy shops and expensive housing, David Agmashenebeli Avenue had, if you remember, several cinemas. But that's not even all, because what we're looking at in a pretty bad state, yet this is the building of the Georgia Film Studio. And it looks quite, I mean, yeah, I know, it looks abandoned, in pretty bad condition, with all these graffitis, you know, that Georgia, well, Tbilisi is so infamous for. But yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with my gimbal, but it's not really holding on my phone really nicely. I'm sorry, you'll have to bear with me a bit, because I'm not sure what's going on. Gimbal вообще трясется совсем. So I hope I won't make you too dizzy. This is my old gimbal, so that could be the reason it's really shaking this much. And before we cross the street, I would like to draw your attention to some things. Well, if you remember, by 1915, Georgia had several dozens of cinemas. And not only just it showed movies from all over Europe. It has gimbal gremlins, kind of, Sandy, indeed. And in the early 1900s, hi Cheryl, good to see you. Actually, the film studio, the Georgia Film Studio, was established. It was like 1912, around 1912, which was still the imperial times. And later on, the building was constructed. This one, it was constructed a bit later, and the style. Hi Dolly, good to see you. You may see a tower over there. You may see the different volumes, and if we cross this, you will actually see it from a different angle. So that's quite an interesting building. It's considered one of the masterpieces of early independent Georgian architecture. When I say independent Georgia, I'm actually referring to a very short period of 3 years, from 1918 till, well, 1921, when Georgia was independent democratic republic and federation. So and it was one of the and this was one of the first, I would say, big projects of independent Georgia. And I would like to show you what the building looked like at different times. Now you see, because the trees are so high, you cannot see much, and also there's not really much to see, but just take a look at this. It's definitely, you can clearly see this is the 20th century architecture, and you can see the tower, you can see the arches, the circles, the elongated windows, very irregular volumes put into one. And this is sort of a, who would have thought, but this is actually a pseudo-Georgian or neo-Georgian style, because you can imagine after almost 200 years of being part of the Russian Empire, which Georgia was forced to be, then all of a sudden, the country is free and it can exercise, its own rights, and it can just live the way the country wants. And architecture is one of the ways of expressing whatever you want to express. Or this one. I like this photo very much because... Yes, Grisha. Yeah, Grisha, of course you can. You want to say something? Ну, ты подумай, если ты захочешь, Гриша, ты можешь сказать. Oh, look at this one. I think from here, this is the best angle. The trees are still not here, and you can see it all. So this is quite an impressive piece of architecture. So I'm showing it to you because right now there is not really much to see. So now Grisha and I would like to cross the street. Let's go, Grisha. Let's cross the street. Wait. Yeah. I like it that the modern building over here is actually built into, it's like really next to the historic building of early 20th century, and it also has this nice tower, kind of a pseudo Gothic something style. I'm not even sure. So that looks really nicely here. Okay, we are crossing.
Мама,
Да,
а не могу сказать какой-нибудь интересный факт на русском, и ты его переведешь на
да, конечно. Okay, let's cross.
Я уже знаю какой.
Okay. Тогда дай мне минутку, ладно? Я потом скажу, когда можно рассказать. Well, before we switch more to the cinema story, take a look at this building. Hi, Ashred, good to see you. Well, again, because of the trees, there is not so much to see, but you can clearly see the rustification of the house. Rustification, I mean this big kind of bricks over there. So this is one of the ways of plaster decoration. Well, it's called a rustification. And you can see the lions. Well, we've seen already a bunch of lions on the avenue. There's more. And this is the Florentine windows. Yes, Dolly, Grisha. Grisha is my big helper, and he will be sharing even some facts with you, which I will have to translate. So in this house lived a very important person. There is a memorial plaque over there. I'm pretty sure this name wouldn't really ring a bell to anyone, and I even didn't know who this person was. But it's a very important person for Georgians. And this street is not only about cinemas and movies and theaters and restaurants. It's also... Всем нравится твоя рубашка, Nasa. Yes. Yeah, it's a really nice one. It actually, it has this... Can you change it? No, мне некуда даже. So now it's like this, and then I'm not sure even what's the word for this type of t-shirts, but I just love it. I only wish I had something similar in my childhood, but I could only dream of actually having a NASA on my t-shirt. And had I actually have it, my parents would have been called to police. So only MKS. You don't want that anymore? Okay. So this street is also about the preservation of heritage, of art, and especially the applied art. So I want to show you something. So in this house lived actually the Latvian artist Julius Roma. I haven't been able to find his photo, but it doesn't really matter much. What actually matters is this. We will talk more about applied arts later on, but what you see is different patterns. Actually, this is carpet designs. Thank you, Vlasta. Всем нравится твоя футболка, Гриш. Everyone likes your t-shirt. Grisha says thanks. So these are the designs for carpets. And the thing is that, well, because of the proximity to Persia and a lot of interaction on different levels, sometimes peacefully, sometimes not, between Georgia and Persia, Obviously, Georgia also had the big carpet industry and carpet making art. However, it was all forgotten in the Soviet times. So just, another thing to blame the Soviets for. And but there was in 1920s there lived a great textile artist who created numerous patterns, and also he went to expeditions and he tried to find and save and put in catalogs the traditional patterns from different regions of Georgia of carpet making. My gimbal is too merciless. I mean, it's really gone wild, and I'm very sorry about it. So let's move on. So Julius Straume is a big name. We will talk more about the textile later on. We continue, so actually all the way up. So this is the former building of the Georgia Film Studio. You can throw it away. Yeah. Impressive art designs. And я тебе скажу, хорошо? Okay. Grisha's really wanting to tell you something, but I really need to finish with this first. And but the studio is still around, and the studio, by the way, throughout the Soviet period, it produced 4 or 5 movies, which was a lot, per year. Per year. It was quite a lot, I would say. Many of the Soviet film studios produced 1 or 2 maximum. So this was quite impressive. And you may even have seen some of the movies from the Soviets, from this Georgia Soviet studio, Georgia Film. Many of them are quite renowned. For example, this one, The Repentance. This one I highly recommend to see. Take a look at all these palm branches. Breathtaking, audacious, intriguing. Look at all these reviews from big newspapers. Well, the New York Times, intriguing. So this was one of the masterpieces, shedevers of the cinema on the world level. So Repentance is a very poignant movie about the repressions, about the Soviet times, about the post-imperial times. Very insightful. I highly recommend to see. And it was filmed here on this studio in 1980s. Repentance. It's a masterpiece. It's really one of the best films of the century. I mean it. But I wanted to share with you something. I found something quite interesting. As I said, even before the studio was built, even before that, the films were already made in Georgia. And there is one I've been able to find. It was filmed in 1912, and it was a documentary. And Georgia was one of the first countries to actually film full-length, full-scale documentary movies. And this is, by the way, the actress, which I will talk about later on. And I found the film, 1912. Can you imagine? This is a documentary. This is the arrival of the Georgian poet Akaki Tsereteli to a Georgian town. So it's just a minute long, don't worry. I mean, the film is much longer, but I'll only show you just about a minute or even less. This is him, Akaki Tsereteli. Of course, it's a silent movie. There's no sound. Okay, it shakes less if I hold it like this. So this is exactly the arrival, and look how many people are greeting him. He was a big star. He was kind of a Leo Tolstoy in his best times, like when he was not really excommunicated from the church, and when he was not really the big critique of the regime. So children, locals. So he's visiting the Racha mountainous regions of Georgia. Look at all these people. Big deal. I really wanted you to see this. I think it's quite special. I think so. So Grisha really wanted to share with you something? Yes, Grisha. Okay, go ahead. Только громче говори.
Все думали, что морковка всегда была оранжевой, но на самом деле это не так. Раньше была только белая морковка и иногда чуть-чуть светло-желтая.
Ага.
И потом в каких-то самых эпохах
Угу.
и она получилась фиолетовой. Она была очень популярной, особенно в Франции.
О.
Но потом он стал оранжевым, но потом появились красный, ярко-желтый и оранжевые цвета. Но больше всех любили оранжевые цвета.
Угу.
И потом светло-желтый
Ага.
фиолетовых в очень маленьком количестве, оранжевые прям возросли, красных тоже нет. И вот так вот появилась оранжевая морковка.
Okay. Let's see. So, it's just a little bit of a lyrical digression from Grisha. So he's just shared with me the story of a carrot. So actually, I used to think up until the 36 that I'm 36 now, I used to think that oranges have always been orange. Yes, they used to be. So actually, but they're not. Originally, carrots were kind of white or like, pale shade kind of really. And then there was, like experimentation, like genetic experimentation. And they actually came up with a purple carrots. Purple? Okay, purple carrots. And then, well, people kind of liked it, but it kind of really looked odd. Can you imagine a purple carrot? So there was more experiments, and then eventually they came up with different shades: red, orange, yellow, and eventually orange, right? So eventually it was orange. I have no idea, but Grisha's been reading and watching so many really like fact kind of really documentaries, interesting facts on the internet. So it could be true. Anyway, thank you, Grisha. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah. Okay.
А еще фиолетовые морковки можно найти в магазине, только очень редко.
So he's saying that you can find carrots in the shops, purple carrots.
Но
Little. Okay, you can find a little bit of purple carrots on the shops.
Ну, то есть, типа, очень их мало.
Okay, they're not really numerous, but you can try your luck. I think I pass. I think I like orange ones. Anyway. Give him some slack. I mean, okay. So, thank you, Grisha. Everyone say thank you. So, take a look at this lady. I swear this is the last story about the movies, but I really impressed, with Georgian culture and the heritage. So, I really want to share with you. This is an interesting story, This is Natalie Onino Vachnadze. This is her sculpture, and this is her photo. This one, Vachnadze, Nino Onata Vachnadze. And there's another one over here. She's wearing traditional Georgian costume. She was, I believe this is quite a spectacular thing. Back then, before the cinema, before the movies were only silent, okay, it was like one industry. But when actually, the sound movies came up, the most actors that used to be stars during the silent movies era were no longer needed, or they just couldn't. They no longer fit. Well, that was not the case with Nada Vachnadze. That was not the case. And she remained a TV star up until 1950s. In 1950s, she died in a plane crash. So hence the monument to her. She was a big star, and she was well loved in the entire Soviet Union. Anyway. So I promised you some more splendor and opulence, and there you go. I'm far from the microphone now, but I'm sure you can see the beautiful house over there. Krish, let's go. Sorry, let me see the chat because I must have missed some of the. You can find carrots in all these colors. Дорли говорит, что всех этих цветов можно до сих пор морковки найти. So you can find white carrots, yellow carrots, purple carrots. Oh, Dolly, can you find the polka dot carrots? Just asking в горошек. Polka dot carrots. Exactly. Just would be nice to see. No idea. Тебе говорят спасибо, Grisha. Okay, so take a look at this house. And I love these pine trees. They actually, I think they're much older, even the entire neighborhood. But look at this. Actually, for a long time, this house used to be the embassy of Germany. Right now, it looks abandoned to me. I haven't really checked, but what is special here, and you can actually immediately say that this is the German, at least it used to be a German embassy, because what you see over there, and I'm going to invade a little bit, hopefully they're not gonna arrest me. What you see over here, these are the sections of the Berlin Wall. These are the sections of the Berlin Wall. You may remember my tours of the old city. There is an area called the Europe Square, and Sharon, I'm sure you remember that. So there in the heart of the Europe Square, there is one section of the Berlin Wall. This was a present from Germany in the 1990 after the taking down of the Berlin Wall, because Georgia was the first country to recognize the United Berlin after the Berlin Wall collapsed. Well, was destroyed, was taken down. And it's just precious to have it. Absolutely. But the house used to belong to, originally they were like parsnips. The slopes, no, full sponge. У тебя, Гриша, мозг как губка. You are my SpongeBob, Grisha. Thank you so much. Your мозг все впитывает. Your brain takes in everything like a sponge, you know? Скажи thank you. I was just being silly. Anyway. Not yet. Okay. Well, пока еще горошек морковку найти нельзя. Well, I'm pretty sure if Grisha carries on with his interest like into natural science, who knows, he might actually come up with some polka dot carrots, turnips, watermelons, whatnot. Pretty sure. Well, I just like this. It doesn't look like it's the same avenue, but it is the same avenue, all with a nice shade of sycamore trees. Нет, там нет интернета. So, but we continue, we carry on, and it's not a coincidence that this street has. So actually, at different times, the street used to have several embassies of several European countries. So it's no wonder, because this is one of the most opulent avenues, I would say. Look at this house. This is the eclecticism turn of the 20th century. It was built for a research facility, and it's still a research facility. You can see it's like University Geomedi, so it is a medical research facility. I'm not going indoors, but I just would like to show you that it's quite reserved, quite classy. So, and the research facility is still here. It's a medical research facility. Look at this nice house over here. I also told you last time, and I'll keep telling you, that this street used to have a bunch of hotels. This is actually one of them, and it used to be a hotel in the 19th century, and it still is. Well, restored. very cozy. And again, so just it's very hard to keep it in mind and actually to take it in that behind these European facades there would be those famous courtyards, Georgian courtyards. Well, take a look at this one. That was a very pretty expensive and impressive Georgian house, but this is tenant house. I will show you, I'll illustrate what actually I'm talking about. So look at this facade. This really grand residential house, a tenant house. So people used to rent an apartment here. It used to belong to, normally it would belong to one family, sometimes to an entire company. That was possible. Like many, let's say many insurance companies. Grish, come on, just over here. They also invested in the development. And well, take a look at this floors, the original floors. So they just, purchased a plot of land. They built a house. People would rent from them, and then you'll stay here. Let's go. And then, this is how the companies will be making money on it. But I want to show you something. So that's what I was talking about. Looks like I'm invading a bit, but actually the entrance is open. But this is what I'm talking about, the Georgian backyards, the Georgian courtyards. Язык, не уходи, пожалуйста, потому что мы сейчас уходим. So there's wooden balconies. This is one of them, a really nice one. Сейчас я сниму, я спущусь и поднимусь, хорошо? Побудь тут. I'm gonna go down just to show you what I was talking about, like this ornate wooden balconies. Over there, take a look. So you have seen the facade, very European. But then from here, it is charming and cute, absolutely, Sandy. Look at that. So this is Georgia, this is Tbilisi. We've seen so many of those so-called Italian courtyards. They have nothing to do with Italy. This is about the vibe. All these balconies were meant for the hot time of the year, and people would just, chill in the balconies and talk to each other, from distant corners of one and the same courtyard. They would have to really speak loudly, and that created all this atmosphere. Plus, it has always been a multinational city. And you could see people, at the same time, hear them talking different languages. So that's, hence the name Italian courtyard. Hello, kitty. Hi. So I have a cat and a kid. The best ingredients of a good tour. And if you wish to treat Grisha a dessert afterwards, you can do that. So in the pinned comment, go back. In the pinned comment, there is a link to my Buy Me a Coffee or a PayPal. So this is how you can encourage Grisha to learn more facts for the next tour. Thanks in advance. So, but we're going back. Well, actually there's some kitties, and kitties are always fun. Absolutely awesome. Yeah. Actually, this is a original iron broth details. It's quite possible that there used to be flowers because this looks a little bit empty. I'm not sure, but there definitely used to be flowers at some point. I keep finding many of them, many of this kind of, railings that definitely clearly missing some details. So hard to say where they gone to. But we carry on. Grish, pardon? Well, obviously, the house you see over there is much smaller. Well, that one, that's the hotel, is much smaller than this one. Because this one was constructed at the turn of the 20th century. But the entire avenue was actually started to be developed in 1840, 1850s. And originally, the houses were much smaller. And what you see is one of the examples of the originally smaller houses. This one also was changed. It was redeveloped, but so that's what it looked like. A much smaller one. Actually, a residential house. It must have been built. There is not really much information, unfortunately, about the house. But what I've been able to find, it was probably built by a German architect, because most of the houses were built by German architects. because this was the German colony. And I particularly like this entrance, like a separate one. It looks like it was the back entrance, kind of a black letter, you know, like like service letter. It looks very much so. It looks like there were two, so there were definitely two entrances. It could belong to two families, and clearly this is for services. And I like this one. It's small, cozy. It has, you know, even some green area next to it, so it's deeper into like further from the street, deeper into the quarter. And originally smaller houses were like this. They did have a yard in front of them too. But we carry on. Let's go, Grisha. Let's go. So we continue and take a look at this ornate house with, well, pilasters, like half columns, with big windows and interesting arched. Well, speaking of entrances, Sandy, go on, please, let's go. Speaking of entrances, tomorrow, oh, and I'm gonna need to put my shades on because it's still pretty sunny. So tomorrow, me and my new friend and colleague from Tbilisi, Georgi, who happens to be my compatriot, so he's also from Siberia, Novosibirsk. We're going to be taking you to hidden, closed foyers in the Chughureti neighborhood. Originally, it was supposed to be Saloniki, but, you know, due to some circumstances, we decided to switch to Chughureti, and we haven't been in any of those entrances, so it's closed ones. He knows the way to unlock them, and we're going to see really beautiful foyers. Well, you know. Oh, thank you so much. Am I back? Yes, I am making friends, because like I'm new here and I don't speak the language, so I really needed to find, you know, the like-minded people, and I find them. I mean, I'm going to be doing more projects with more, you know, guides, really special ones, like real specialists. And Georgi is quite special. He's not really a tour guide, but you will see he really has his niche. He's really good in what he does. So you'll see that tomorrow. And my full schedule for this weekend and the next weekend you can find on my website. More tours to be added shortly. Well, actually, this building over here and my website, anayaguide.com, and there's going to be two virtual tours tonight, two more. One in Israel Museum, we'll be talking about the turn of the millennia, so the turn of the eras. We're going to be talking about archaeology of that time, and we're gonna be talking about the Alexander Romanov residence as well tonight, and tomorrow this hidden foyers and the 1950s Soviet history. Yes, they are, absolutely. And Marina is sending her love to you because she really enjoyed cooking with us and with you. Well, this building, it is a school. Actually, as you see over there, the building was extended. It probably in the post-Soviet times. It's really hard to tell. But this used to be, well, there are several versions, so I haven't been able to find, I would say, the 100% solid information, but it looks like it used to be one of the banks, because apart from the other businesses, there used to be a lot of banks, because Tbilisi has always been a trade city and trade needed banks. Yes, Ronaldine, I will be doing more tours with Marina, but a bit later we will be cooking together. And actually, after that tour, I got contacted by several people who are planning to visit Tbilisi, and I will be taking them on real cooking tours. Все хорошо? Хочешь пить? No? Okay, let's go. So take a look at this building over here, and this one over here. And that one, you remember I mentioned the really strangely shaped arched windows, the pilasters. So, if you try to guess when those houses were built, and if I told you that they were built in the 1920s, 1930s, you probably wouldn't believe me. But actually, if you look over there, you can clearly see, oh yeah, definitely this is not the early 20th century. Actually, let's go, Grish. Actually, this architecture is considered also one of the masterpieces of the earliest Soviet period. And well, you may remember such styles as Bauhaus constructivism. This was, well, kind of the experiments in those, in that direction. But the idea was, in the Soviet times, in earlier Soviet times, there was still a lot of freedom given to architects. And that was, well, this was exactly the period when the modernistic art and architecture thrived, because the creators, the artists were given freedom to do so. And many artists try to create kind of the, like small community. Гриша, не надо. Гриша, пожалуйста, это дорога. Okay? I just really asking Grisha to stop doing what he was doing, because it's a busy street, busy road. I didn't want, any issues. So what you see, this is those experiments of creating this kind of the community houses, not the communal apartments, but community houses. And they actually call the houses of the tram workers. The workers, tram drivers, the workers of the tram stations. Well, we will see that the building actually goes all the way deep in the quarter. And over here, a giant saucer. Actually, this is a stadium. A stadium called Dynamo Stadium, that's with a capacity of over 54,000 people, that can be housed there at one and the same time. This is the famous Dynamo Stadium, and I would like to show you some of the photos. Give me a minute. Well, this is how gigantic it is. Look. And I'm pretty sure many of you are following the Euro 2024, the soccer or football championship. And you may remember that Georgia actually won a few days ago. Georgia won from Portugal. Grisha, let's go. Yeah, just hold my hand, please. Yeah, very well. Thank you, Grisha. Impressive, right? So this is a huge stadium, absolutely. And we're gonna be crossing here as well. But while I'm waiting for the green light, you can just also take a look here. So that's what I'm talking about. You see all these houses, they actually go up until there and deep into the quarter. So this is early 1920s, 1930s architecture, housing, communal housing. Let's go, Grisha. Что ты хотел сказать?
Можно я скажу какой-нибудь еще факт?
Да.
Когда ты скажешь?
Да, когда я скажу, хорошо? Okay. So in the meanwhile, Grisha will be getting ready for another fun fact for you. So he'll be sharing it shortly. Well, I find these houses really cute. Definitely they were extended at some point. Could be post-Soviet time, because it looks, I would say, quite modern. I mean, this extra floor over there. But in general, well, it's not like a ugly Khrushchev times housing. So pretty nice one. Pretty nice. Well, let me take a little bit closer here. So the football fans, please forgive me. I know nothing about football. But I was so impressed with Georgian team, with the performance of the Georgian team the other day, several days ago. I actually searched, and well, believe it or not, by the way, this is the sculpture of Boris Paichadze, who is considered one of the best Georgian football players of all times. This is him. This is his monument. So he indeed won many games, and and Tbilisi, Georgia. So this this football team was the champion of the Soviet Union actually several times. And believe it or not, but in 1979, Dynamo Tbilisi Actually, here on this stadium, they housed a game between, Dynamo Tbilisi and Liverpool. Liverpool in October 1979. And Tbilisi won. Tbilisi Dynamo won 3-0. Can you imagine that? So impressive. I had no idea. Honestly. I had no idea. Тебе нравится, Гриш, стадион? Yeah, that's impressive, right? Liverpool, like, oh. Да, okay, a fun fact from Grisha. Yep.
Я начну на английском, закончу на русском.
Yeah, sure. Okay, go ahead. А? Кто? Газировка. Fizzy drink.
Plastic bottle
Fizzy drinks.
Fizzy drinks. It's a 5 feet.
Okay.
It's a 5 feet.
Oh yeah, it has 5 feet. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because
Uh-huh. Huh?
Because the
Gas, that's right. Yeah.
it's a
Goes down.
пластик. В обычном дне.
Okay.
В обычном дне пластика.
It's hard in English, but he's doing a great job. Mm-hmm.
Пластиковой бутылки там.
Yes.
Там нету 5 ножек. Но в пластиковой бутылке газировки есть 5 ножек, потому что если бы их не было, газы бы не распределялись.
Yeah, exactly.
Ну просто вздулось.
Yeah.
Все стоять не могли.
Yeah. So.
Так по 5 ножкам распределяется равномерно
Yeah.
газы и ничего не вздувается.
Yeah, ты правильно начал. You actually did it right. You did good. So, you know, the fizzy drink plastic bottles, it has like 5 legs. Do you remember? Like, take a look at the bottom. It has 5 legs. It is so because without them, there would be no space for the gas to spread evenly in the bottle, and all the bottles would just pop up. You know, just explode from the gases. Ты правильно все, Гриш, сказал? Yeah, you did great. I mean, it's not so easy. Like, even for me, it's not easy to explain, you know, all these facts, I would say. I want to show you something. So, Grisha, спасибо. It's impressive. It's really impressive.
А как будет дуть?
Think. Пойдем. Come here. Okay, so let's invade a little bit in this beautiful paradise. Take a look. So, I mentioned already some arts. I mentioned some carpet making. Давай попозже, через минутку, ладно? Okay. Yes, Grisha has something to add.
The other things with design.
No. But it's designed, but without the design, it would explode.
Ты думала, что это просто такой дизайн?
Yeah. I used to think it's just a design. I didn't know it was done on purpose. That's right. So I was all wrong. Look at this. Слушай, тут все говорят, что они не ожидали и не знали, что это так. Yeah, it's quite an eye-opener, right? So Grisha is full of these eye-openers. I want to show you something. We are in this beautiful garden, and we might actually, at any moment, they might really kick us out from here. So I really want to use my time here wisely. And look at this beautiful place. I mean, it's really like a piece of paradise. And see this. Just look at these beautiful flowers. I have no idea what they are. Понюхай цветочки. Вот смотри, вот понюхай вот этот. Еще. Oh, please take the screenshot for me. Еще можно, зайка? Пожалуйста, еще. More. Oh, I love it. Does it smell nice? Nice? Sweet?
Does it not have a smell?
It doesn't have a smell?
Yes.
Oh, it doesn't have smell? But something really smells nice, like maybe some other flowers. Anyway, No? No smell?
No smell.
But it smells sweet. There must be some other flowers that smell here. Maybe these ones. They look different.
Может, потому что мне нос заложен.
I'm not sure. Maybe it's because your nose is blocked, but it's not really blocked. Anyway, we are in this beautiful paradise. I mentioned already the carpet industry and the preservation of the carpet designs, traditional Georgian carpet designs. So look at this building, constructed also in early 1900s. Krisha is exploring more. It has a smell? It smells nicely? Does it smell nicely? Okay. It has little smell. Has little smell. Oh, this is lovely. Oh, later on, later. I'll smell those flowers. So there was, you may remember the architect who actually was from Polish descent, because the Polish people were also, some Poles were sent here to Caucasus in the early 19th century because they were against the Tsarist regime of the Russian Empire, which had annexed parts of Poland prior to that. So Alexander Sienkiewicz was an outstanding Polish architect. And he built quite a lot of houses in Tbilisi, and this is one of them. And this was part of a big research facility. I mean, I could really be asking you to guess, but I'll just tell you. Now, this is a silk museum. Can you imagine? There is a silk museum. But originally the house was the silkworm breeding station. Ты знаешь, что здесь выращивали тутового шелкопряда? Это большой НИИ, институт исследовательский. Тут выращивали гусениц для того, чтобы делать шелк. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Grisha. Grisha had no idea. Oh, thank you so much. I see coffee's coming in. Thank you for your support. We're not done because I'm going to take you to another paradise in a minute. But just, oh, can you smell it? Минут 15 еще. Can you smell it? It's so sweet. It smells so sweet. Little sweet. Oh. Beautiful flower. I have no idea what this is. It looks a bit like frangipane, but it's not.
It's medium. It's medium sweet.
Medium sweet. Okay. Medium sweet. Okay. And another postcard for me, please, if possible. Grish, come join me. It's for a postcard. Остановись, ты будешь размытый на кадрах. Just stop. You're gonna be blurred in the pics. Thank you so much, everyone. So, actually, who would have thought that the David Agmashenebeli Avenue is so diverse? So we had cinemas, we had banks, we had shops, we had theaters. Grisha is pollinating because actually you can see some pollen on his nose.
Это производительность прислала, она умерла?
Нет, все хорошо. He has pollen on his nose and it doesn't want to go. Okay, Grish, let's go. Let's go. So I just discovered this beautiful house and take a look. Obviously, in the Soviet times, when the stadium was built, this house was to house the direction, the offices of the stadium. Попозже, okay? Yeah, and now, so except for the banks, shops, the hotels, restaurants, so there are parks and even a research facility. There used to be a research facility. Okay, пойдем. В смысле, что такое скалопендра?
Скалогенропер.
Что это?
Не знаю, какое-то супер-гипер-насекомое.
Насекомое? We just found a bug. Where is it? Well, anyway, let's go, Grish. We have a lot to show. Where is the bug? Where is it? I can't see anything. It's just a bug. Просто жучок и все. just a bug. Hope it's not gonna...
Это очень опасно, я знаю, это опасно.
A dangerous bug.
Да,
Then let's run.
Это такой жук, который... Это либо жук, который забирается в стопы,
О боже.
либо это жук, который... Либо это жук,
Goodness.
из-за которого может... Или это жук, из которого может...
Let's go.
Из-за которого который может сделать так, чтобы ты ампутировал руку.
Oh goodness, so Grisha is saying that this could be the bug, the bite of which can actually get your arm amputated. And you wanted me to see this? Thank you, Grisha, you're so kind. Let's cross here. Let's cross. So, and as we cross, take a look at this house. Definitely this is an old one. And this is the example of actually earlier architecture in the area. And this house is very similar to the original old houses of the Noi Tiflis colony in Tbilisi. Look at this arched windows over here, arched entrances. So it's a neo-Gothic style. Sorry, but we're back. Again, if we disappear, so we'll try to reconnect as soon as possible. It could have been worse. You may remember it used to be much worse. So that house where the connection would drop all the time. So this house, and you can see it from here, how old it is. Like the stairs, I wouldn't really risk to take the steps because it looks like it's just gonna fall under me at any time. But this house is actually, it's part of this Noi Tiflis community that was built by Germans when they arrived. And if you didn't watch the previous episodes that I where I actually give the details and the detailed account of events and why those Germans came in, well, let me know, because we've had how many, I believe right now we've had already 9 or 8 episodes of the Chughureti neighborhood, which was established by those Germans, by those hundreds of Germans that arrived. And you see why I really been wanting to take you here. That's because Krish is gonna really enjoy himself and also ruin my gimbal and my phone. Я все видела. I saw everything. Go ahead, enjoy. You can go. You can run. Okay, so he's gonna be enjoying himself. So if you miss some of those tours, or you wanna just take another look to refresh some information, just contact me on my website annayagai.com. You can find the ways to contact me, and I'll send you the link to watch. It's never a problem for me to send you a couple of videos. But there's also a sponsorship model which opens you access to more than 300 videos, as well as the recordings of my 2 tours with Marina. And now, as we're passing through these Persian soft arches, like soft, you don't really see angles, and it's not really a pointy shape, so it's kind of a soft Persian column. I would like to give you a story of the place where we are. Actually, it is a park. And this is the oldest park in Tbilisi. Смотри, какая птичка. This is the oldest public park in Tbilisi. It's called Mushtaid. Mushtaidi or Mushtaid. It was established in the middle of the 19th century. And I would like to show you some old photos of the park. Wow. And it was the favorite place of the locals, of the visitors. Or at some point, it was also part of the research facilities of the silkworm breeding factory or station, breeding station. Factory sounds a bit too much for a silkworm. And it used to be, basically it used to be actually for a long time it was a private territory. It used to belong to, give me a second, I'll explain everything. So it used to belong to Mir Fatah Agha a high-ranked Shia Muslim religious leader of the Persian Shiites. He had to escape to the Russian Empire after a conflict where he actually took the side of Russia, and allegedly he spied, for the Russian Empire against the Sunnis, and he had to flee. And he was given, he found a safe harbor here. He was given some shelter here, and he was given this plot of land by the emperor. And he built here, for his wife, he built here a small estate. It's not the estate. Eventually, he was pardoned and he returned to Persia. I'm not sure what happened to him later on, but this land, returned to the balance of the Russian Empire, and it was turned into a public park. And this building actually was the Museum of Handicrafts. So it was the museum and the facility that sponsored and encouraged the crafts, different kinds of crafts, Georgian crafts. Now this is the administration of the park. Well, that's housed here. But this is the house, late 19th century architecture, Moorish style. You can clearly see that. You can see this very typical columns over there. You can see the ornaments over there. And there's one more beautiful construction, beautiful pavilion, which used to be also part of basically the big, very big number of pavilions. Most of them are not around anymore. They used to be part of this, silkworm breeding station. That's a nice one. It used to be, in the 19th century, in late 19th century, it was a big restaurant. It used to be a restaurant. I think I have some photos to share with you. Give me a minute. I might have some. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, well, take a look over here, this one. It looked a bit different, but this was the restaurant. Very nice one, really loved by locals, by visitors, by the descendants of the Germans that lived in the area. In the Soviet times, it remained a park. Let me show you. I just like this Moorish Moorish impressions, and I like this angle. I like it very much. So if you're taking any screenshots, please take this one for us. Very peaceful, and it's not really nothing here is actually reminding us of the Soviet times. Look at this. Look at this beautiful fence. That's clearly, absolutely clearly the Imperial Times architecture, Imperial Times design. And we are about to finish very soon, but just a few more things to show. So I was talking about the Soviet times, and actually in the Soviet times, in this park, they built one of the first children's railroads. It was launched in 1935, and it is still running, the railroad. Yes, Grisha. Подожди, надо подождать. And I just really wanted to show you some more flowers. And this is a nice area. Actually, here used to be somebody's birthday, but everybody's gone, so it looks like it's not a problem for us to film this beautiful area with loads of flowers. Гриша, дай мне 5 минут, пожалуйста, okay? 19:05. Okay, and just a few more things to show you. I found a lot of photographs of what this park looked like. So before the Soviet times, so this is the postcard from the Imperial Times of the pavilion in the Mushtaidi Park. This is gone. I mean, it's gone. I have no idea where it used to be. And a few more things. Well, in the Soviet times, clearly before 1960, can you guess who is this in the monument? Even my gimbal is shaking, because this is Joseph Stalin. Yeah, Obviously, with Khrushchev, with the arrival of Khrushchev, you know, the cult of Stalin was eliminated completely. Yeah, this is this nice, I would say, recreational, area. You can rent it out for your holiday. So there was definitely a kid's birthday at some point. Well, now everybody's gone and I can film, which is nice. Yeah. So, oh, and there's one more. Подожди, пожалуйста. There's one more over here. So that's what the restaurant looked like. And now, it still looks, I would say, really post-Soviet kind of park, but it's a cozy one. And you know, if I get a little bit nostalgic about the Soviet times, I know if I get nostalgic, I know where to go. I'll come here. This is clearly a Soviet time stage. Stalin statue looks familiar. Well, yeah, definitely. Anyway, so this is it. Next time, I'll be taking you to another half of the Agmashenebeli Avenue, which is beautiful. Some Gothic architecture there, some nice mansions, another park. And thank you so much, Grisha, for all the fun facts. You're welcome. Yeah, you can say you're welcome.
You are welcome.
Thank you so much for joining us.
You are very low. You are very Velosomia. Velosomia in the Russian.
He just put it around. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your support. So if you wish to treat Grisha to a dessert or something, you can buy him a coffee and I'll buy him a baby chino. So thank you so much for your support. I'll see you tonight for 2 more virtual tours. And in a couple of hours from now, it's going to be the Israel Museum in Jerusalem and Alexandria Romanov residence. And tomorrow, the hidden treasures. We're going to be unlocking the closed 4 years of the 19th century opulent residential buildings and 1950s history. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you shortly. Grish, say bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, and this is something, you know, from the 2000s. I'm just checking the chat if I missed any of the messages. Thank you. Thank you, Ronaline. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ashrith, Lasta.
A camera, it's...
Yeah, what do you want? Yeah.
Bye. Bye.
Let me know when to stop, okay? Someone's gonna fall. That's it? Can I stop?
I can stop.
Okay, the cross is here.
Pew.
And end.
And bye. Bye.